So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It is Sunday. We got a Sunday grid to get into. I know we said we were going to be out in the streets for the Weidener Bürgermeisterfest, but it's just loud. And the music is, well, it's diverse. And so the food is good, however, so much so that Jerry decided she wanted a burger. Wound up having 2 of them, but I mean, in all fairness, she doesn't eat the bun, so, you know, but apparently jalapenos and the grilled onions, it was really delicious, and I had already eaten, and so that was bad on me. But nevertheless, it's just very loud out there, so we'll try to get out this week when it calms down. Tonight after maybe 10 p.m., I think it's over. And so, as such, and being what it is, here we go, right? You know, but it is a beautiful Sunday. I'm just having a Campari Spritz today because they're just so refreshing, and I was pretty much working in the studio all day making some upgrades to the system and the sound and getting things kind of organized. So when I finally got into the shower earlier, it turns out I didn't even shave. I'm just going to be gruffy. It's going to be fine. So let's go ahead and hop on into this grid and see what we've got today. So we got a Mike Hobin construction edited by Will Shorts, so that should be, well, I have no idea. I know I've seen the name before, but it hasn't yet registered as evil or, you know, obtuse, abstruse, nothing. Just easy, nope, no idea. But we'll see what we got. Let's hop on into it. Oh, wow, that takes my breath away every time I see a Sunday grid. I tell you what, I could take you back in time. Before we did this, I could show you the archives. I've been doing these crosswords with the app. Oh gosh, I've had the app for probably 15 years and maybe longer. But I could show you where you'll see Monday through Saturday they're all done, and the Sundays are all just ready to be played. They're so big. But a Muslim leader is usually an imam, and we'll check it, see what we got. So what's blank you? Well, I have no idea. Consideration in the dating scene. We got 4 letters. We could get tall and dark in there. Could get a type in there. I don't know. So what's... I don't know. Initialism directed at the overly inquisitive. Maybe... mind your own business. It's none ya. It's none ya. None ya business. So things you hope your dinner guests bring. How about an appetite? Pluralized, of course. So, looks like we got a type here. So I guess we're not going for tall and dark, but we're going for just some other type. I'm not sure. That's really pretty cool. Alternatives to Cabernets. How about Merlots? I bought a really nice white wine to have today, and it's literally shade because we have a German, in Germany, one of the wine varieties is a Grauburgunder, Grau meaning gray, and I really like the label. It says 50 shades of Grauburgunder, which I thought was really cool, but I just will have it tomorrow. So. Apt clue for the circled letters, and again, the name of this grid is all inclusive, so it doesn't really help any just yet, especially since the circled letters haven't been solved at this point. The Washington Monument, as an example, would be an obelisk. So what's it to you? So what's it to you? Okay, I get it. So this is kind of a thing. Okay, got it. 2PR. Okay. Afflicts, maybe ails. Apt clue. Okay. Gosh, we're gonna have a lot of apt clues here for all of these circled letters. So might as well just do a lot of downs for a while, right? Copenhagen language to locals would be Dansk. Also the name of a very large trucking company that we see all the time. Woman who is told don't lose that number in a Steely Dan title. It's the only one you want. Ricky, sorry, 2Ks. I think Steely Dan may be my I don't know, my secret favorite band of all time. I don't even know why it's a secret. Maybe I don't have a band that's a favorite because I like so much. But I do like Steely Dan. Daffy Duck for one. I'm assuming he's a Drake. What side are you on in that whole Drake thing? I didn't even know it was a thing until recently. The D-backs on sports tickers. How about Ari, as in Arizona? And so TV or radio station. Oh, these error. I don't ever see me saying error. It's one of the many errors of for broadcast media. I mean, I'm just like, it sounds like I'm saying error, right? I don't know. It's just kind of a strange thing. I'll take crossword clues for 2,000, please. No idea. Maybe Ken, since we got a K and an E. I have no idea where that's coming from. Bit of work would be an erg. So we got top ranking, and the circled letters here are king. Like a $2 bill, could be rare. It used to be you could go to the bank and get those, and I'd always just get like $20 worth of them, just to have 10 of them in my wallet, just to hand out to people as a memento, right? Hey, with me, you can make $1 work like $2, kind of a thing. It was a little calling card. Yeah, but I've tried it here in Germany. I go to like the American bank. I go to the United States Bank on the United States Post, right? And they don't have any $2 bills. And they're like, well, we might could get some. And I'm like, man, that would be so cool to hand out to just Germans, locals, right? What a cool little souvenir.
I think Hope had gotten some for our Easter or Christmas one year playing our games.
Oh, really?
At the bank, just a couple of years ago.
I used to hand them out when I was an ad exec. It literally had a little card made. It's a little hole in it. You can see Jefferson's face, and it just says, give me a shout. I can make one marketing dollar work like $2. It was a cool little thing I did. It's dorky, I know. Got business, so. 8 more than a dozen, so that would be 20. We got 5 letters to work with, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm going to sound like Abraham Lincoln 7 years ago. Twistable piece on Mr. Potato Head, and we got an AR. I'm going to go with an arm on this one. I think back in the 50s or something, that Mr. Potato Head was just a set of accessories that you stuck in your own potato, right? Somewhere along the way, I guess we decided that kids couldn't play with a potato. I'm not sure, but whatever, it's cool. Grueling process could be a slog. Gotta check that, though. Come together could be your gel, and now I feel pretty good about slug. Fertilized ones become embryos. How about ova? So I think top ranking royal fits here. So clearly we've got a king in here. I guess that would be the top ranking royal. Unless you play chess. Then the most powerful piece on that board is the queen. Swimbo. She who must be obeyed. That's the acronym every husband should learn. Capitulate. Cave. Interesting. That could have been a give, too. Non-professionals. How about layman? Besides... else, maybe? I don't know. Relative of a zither could be a lute. Liar? I don't know. Russian rebuff. How about niet? Niet, comrade. Niet. Bajalistat. Apt clue for the circle word. So maybe we got a Tolkien tree creature, and we got ent here. So I think we do have a Tolkien tree creature. Okay, this is a fun little theme we've got going. Besides, I think it could be else. So we got a liar here. And you don't know what you're missing. How about try it? Try it! Give it a shot. Mighty Mudville batter. I guess this is Casey. I think I must have learned that in the crossword. I don't even know where Mudville is. I do know where Whoville is. I think it's Whoville. Or Horton. Heard the Who? Pile of chips, maybe. She who must be obeyed is not correcting me, so I must be correct on my Whoville.
Asking Andrea to call me with Paula when they get out of church.
Wispy streaks in the sky. So we're probably talking about Siri. Okay, let's see. Something ball, who knows? Apt clue for the circled letters. Oh, okay. Of course it is. I should know that by now. Okay, so did as expected on the links, maybe shot or made par. We can see if the par will work. I don't know which one it's going to be. Issue with a scratched record could be a skip. And yeah, that was always the danger with LPs, but I do miss that hiss and that crackle. I really wish I had a good phonograph. The problem is you don't want to just go buy any of them. Right? You want to find something really cool, you know? I mean, like a Marshall or something. You want to spend like $5,000 on the system. And you think, I don't know, I could buy a watch with that though. Yeah, it's hard. So we got skee ball here. Skee ball. Runaway Bride, actress Wilson. I think this would be Rita. I forgot my watch. I just got a shower. Oh.
I'll go get it.
You don't have to get it.
Is it in the bathroom?
No, it's in my watch box, in the watch room, in the dressing room. I'm okay though, baby. Some GPS calculations, ETAs maybe. Item turned upside down at a bar's closing time. One last call for alcohol. So finish your whiskey or beer. Remaining. Oh. Rugrat could be a tyke. So maybe this is to go. Cousin of a Nebula Award could be a Hugo. Okay, so we've got an Earth in this one. I guess I've gotten so out of whack. Why don't I try to finish up in some sort of normal pattern here? Makes amends. Makes amends, I don't know. Old style, OMG, God. That's pretty old style, so maybe we're talking about editing here. And takes down to the studs could be guts. And fool could be to dupe. Goon could be an ape. And tart or tort could be a dessert. I eschewed all carbohydrates, all sugars, everything, starches, all that good stuff 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know, I think 2017, it's been 8 years. Shotzi said, you should probably just eat meat and cheese, and then you'll start losing weight. And I'm like, oh, and I did it. I'm not kidding you, like in a week. I looked like So, it was pretty impressive. But now, and I never really cared for sweets, but now all of a sudden I see that crap in windows, and I'm just like, man, why didn't I ever try that before, you know? I mean, I have no idea what it tastes like. So, yeah, I do regret that. Not enough. So we got another ball. Okay. Corporate worker concerned with employee development. And so we're going to have something that's been truncated. So we're going to HR rep. Yes, that's the last person you ever want to be called in to see is the HR person. You know, kind of like Joe and Mika. You know they had to go see HR. You know they did. There are 8 in a gallon. How about pints? I'm almost positive they had to go see the HR person. Yeah. Branch of Islam. How about Shia? Okay, so apt clue for the circled letters. Okay, so we don't have them all. So what is this? Maybe a Nerf ball? Okay, so we got a fist in here. Okay. Fuzz. Not worth. Employee welfare organization could be OSHA. This is a clever little grid, and I would say for a Sunday, it's pretty daggone challenging. Fuzz. Do we have the popo here?
King.
We got the popo.
They went for fatting, but
Yeah, we got the popo.
there it is.
He rhymed 19 different words with Lenore in his most famous work. Oh, Baltimore's finest, right? Speaking of popo, how about Poe? Edgar Allan. What an interesting and destitution-rich life. I mean, gosh, everything that guy went through. Oh. So this could be not worth a sou, which I think is fantastic. An old French coin, and we still use that term. I wonder how many of us actually ever even knew that. If it wasn't for a crossword, I wouldn't. I never made it to Europe, really, when we were using marks and francs and everything, so it was all about euros by the time I got here, and I, just, And
They still use francs?
they do them in Switzerland. That's right, in Confederato Helvetica.
It's very pretty.
You ever see a Swiss license plate and you see that CH, you're like, what is that? Well, it's Confederato Helvetica. So, entertainer who doesn't sound very selfish, and I guess this could be Cher. It's clever. It's cute. Okay, so we have a pacifist's something. Okay. We got, I don't know. So this is like 9 times, and I'm going to take a shot over the bow 9 times out of, and we've got 3 letters left, so 10. Let's start checking it. California blank amphibian whose slippery skin produces a toxin lethal to humans. And I have no idea, I've never heard of this before, but this is, it looks like a newt. And if it's right, then I got to figure out what this little creature is, right? Because that sounds pretty cool. Stadium chant, ole. I've never heard of a California newt. Apparently that's whose slippery skin produces a toxin lethal to humans. It's crazy, isn't it? What duelists and doodlers do. Draw. En garde. Stylish vigor. Oh, of course, élan. And sped, maybe tore. Contacted on social media for short. I mean, it's this DM thing. But don't get too comfortable with that. Sometimes it could be IM'd. You never really know. Pixar film that takes place in the land of the dead, and I think that's Coco. I haven't seen it.
It's really good.
I need to see it. I mean, is it Paddington Bears? Is it Paddington Bear good, Shotzi? Because if it's,
I thought it was good.
I mean, there's a new standard now to me, right? From cartoons, animated films, right? Paddington Bear, my fave.
I think it's got a cool message.
Then we'll have to watch it. Happen again could be to recur. Parks and Recreation character who says, fishing relaxes me. It's like yoga, except I still get to kill something. Okay, I guess this is Ron. Yeah, I've never seen a single episode of Parks and Rec, but I have been told that I am just apparently, I'm Ron. And I guess I need to really probably just sit down and start watching it, right? People tell me that all the time. You remind me of Ron, You're a little bit nicer, and of course you dress better. But you kind of remind me of Ron. I'm just like, what is Ron, guys? I need to find out what's going on with that. Became the duty of, maybe fell to. All right. Now, what do we got going on with the CC? Staff symbol for violist. So, the C clef. Okay. Whew. I was like, what did we get wrong? That ain't gonna work, right? What have we done? I was sitting there the whole time thinking it was going to be CC'd or something, along with maybe an email, or I don't know what I thought. Mind-clearing chants. My friend Rose, she would come spend a weekend on occasion, and she was a Buddhist, and then she would do that. She was an opera singer, and then she was also Buddhist, and she would, in the mornings, everything was fine, but she'd be in there and she could do all the ranges. She was multi-range talented, with the voice, and she'd be in there, and it got louder and louder and stuff like that. And I really thought to myself, I need to probably try that. It sounds like a pretty good exercise.
It's the humming. Does something to do with the ASMR and everything. It's good for you.
Not bad. I'll try it. You know me, I'm all about
It's
it.
the vibration.
Eclectic cuisine style? You said vibration, and now I'm thinking fusion. I'm giving a good vibration. Blank Fresca, refreshing Latin American beverage. Yes, we used to have it all the time when I was summer in Arizona. Agua Fresca. Beautiful stuff. Famed actress who portrayed Queen Christina in 1933's Queen Christina. Okay, so I'm assuming Garbo. I mean, I don't know. I think I saw the movie because I took a lot of film classes because, you know, why not? Sacrificial site, altar. But the ones I took the most and loved the most were all the noir. I loved that. I mean, when you could just take a semester of Bogart. Nothing better. Nothing better. Cry following a countdown. How about blast off? Very nice. Unlocked. With a question mark. The B. I bet it's bald. Let's check. Bagpipe sound. Don't get me started. Okay, drone. Works, labors. Open, light-filled area, atrium. Yeah, blast off. I think we got bald there. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, so pacifists. I don't know. I have no idea. Did as expected. We got an M now, so finally we made par. I didn't know if we were going to shoot par or make par. RPM gauge for short would be the TAC. Class with mini graphs and brief. How about econ? One of the hardest C's I ever had to fight for. Economics. That was a tough one. Choice on let's make a deal. I think I think I'll be in economics. I'd have to check my transcripts. They are available. Just go to my LinkedIn page. You can see all of my officer evaluation reports. They're all there. Of course, redacted for social security numbers and whatnot. But yeah, my GPAs, everything's there. I've got no secrets. Beat it. Oh, shoe with you. Shoe. Okay, so maybe this is a pacifist renouncement. Okay, let's see if that lines up. Seasoning blend could be a rub. Shotzi made me ribs today. So good. So messy. You should have seen my face and my fingers. I was going crazy. But I was also madly in love. So good. But it's one of those things that you got to be in a mood to eat because in your manicure, you got to it's just work, right? Work. Breastfeed. How about nurse? Stick out could be to bulge. Jennifer, who wrote A Visit from the Goon Squad, and I'm assuming it's Jennifer Egan. I blush to say I've not read it. Obscure could be to cloud. But you better check that. Exposed could be outed. Apt clue for the circled letters. We've got earth. So we've got 4. I think this might be an N here. The big, easy, and brief is New Orleans. So I guess we're going for NOLA. And if this is an H, if you get my drift, how about hint? And again, a prime example of cognitive bias because I want this to be an H. I found an H answer. I want it to be our home near the sun. Because I think that's poetic. Now we got to see if it's correct. So with 75 across, hearty baked entree. So we got the O going down. I'm thinking pot pie. What about you, Shotzi?
What was that?
75 across, hearty baked entree. I think it's a pot pie. I bet we can find that Chris from Nashville guy. I bet he's figured out a way to make one that's carnivore. Chris Cooks Nashville, is that it? Is that the name of his channel?
I think so.
He comes up with some good stuff.
He does. It's a lot of work.
Bring to the country. That just reminds me of like what your parents said about why, Fido wasn't Fido. Like anybody has ever had a dog named Fido, but why you're, I don't know. What's the dog's name? We always had human names for our dogs, so it wouldn't. Where's Shorty? Oh, he went to retire on a farm upstate kind of a thing, right? Okay. It's like, okay. So I don't think this is about pet funerals when kids are at school. I think this might be to import. It might be. Hardware, software expert in brief. How about an IT pro? Hair raising could be eerie. Some fine art, oils. You know, I work with oils and acrylics. I think I prefer acrylics. I know, that sounds strange, but... Jeez Louise! Man, I don't know. Phrase meant to be repeated. How about a mantra? Attack. It could be to assail. That's a tough one, though. Let's make sure. Stuff thrown over one's shoulder in an act of superstition. Well, at least it's not contrition. I'm going to go with salt. And write by hand, not using cursive. Be print. And I hear so many schools are phasing cursive learning out. I don't really know how I feel about that.
It's pretty much phased out.
It's pretty much phased out, I guess. I mean, it's how.
Kids don't know how to write cursive.
That's unfortunate, maybe. Maybe? I don't know. I have to think about that. Thresholds.
Lost art, I mean, it's something to taking the patience to learn to write those letters.
Right. Yeah, there's something traditional about it. But at the same time, if it's a waste of time, I don't know. It seems like it's much faster to write in cursive than it is to print. But if what you're doing is typing with your thumbs, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was, you know, when the automobile came out, there were a lot of people that were put out of work because they were like, they made, you know, whips and stuff for buggies and and they get the horses going. I mean, I don't know, right? You know, cusps maybe for thresholds. I'm not sure. I just don't know what I think about it. But I think that would be awful. Let's see. A jar would be unshut. Product in the paint department could be a stain. Patty or Selma to Bart and Lisa, and I think that's their aunt. But it kind of reminds me of Scooby-Doo for some reason. I really didn't ever watch Scooby-Doo, but I remember there was somebody on there named Selma. Or is it Thelma? Thelma. Oh, never mind. What do I know?
Never mind.
Okay, so stare is our word here in circled letters here. So I mean, it says stare, and I think we got cast a really long look. It's more fun to do it this way. Just take a gamble and see. Incompetent person, so to speak. Wow, I'm sitting right here. You think you'd wait until I left the room before you started talking about incompetent people? A group of Black Friday shoppers say. No idea. 3 letters? No idea. Previously. Oh, we gotta see maybe once. Yeah, I do. I crack myself up, don't I? Paint brand with an animal in its logo. Oh, that's right. This is a German name, as a matter of fact. Bea. But I guess these are mobs, these Black Friday shoppers mobs. Half and half. Looks like it's going to be 1, and that's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, I got to tell you, Mike Hobin, is it French? Is it Hobin? I'm going to just call it Hobin. I'm going to tell you right now, Mike Hobin, Monsieur Hobin, I'm digging your grid. This is pretty cool stuff. I'm digging your grid. That's kind of a cool thing. Gotta put that on a t-shirt. I'm digging your grid. Tattoo removing option. Laser. Lasers. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna know that for a while. We come in peace speakers in brief. How about also phone home, ETs, high follower, row. To the new crossword solvers out there without a humanities or liberal arts education, for those of you who were smart and studied business, economics, I don't know, law, medicine, stuff that, you know, whatever, then here's the thing. Learn your Greek alphabet. Get that down. oh my gosh, get that down. And at least count to 10 in Hebrew. And just there's certain things you're going to have to know. Help could be aid. And really, as a matter of fact, there's a link below in the description. I haven't been to our website in probably a year, so if it's even still there, yeah, I don't know. But if it's still there, maybe I should check and make sure that I paid for the domain or something. But if the website's still there, there is a PDF you can download, which is a really cool thing, and it's free, right? You know, like subscribing, it doesn't cost anything. You just go get it.
And it's long.
It's in like 8 pages or so, but it's just got all this stuff, and you can just—it's a PDF. You just download it, and just save it onto your phone, and you can open it up when you're in a doctor's office or whatever you're doing. We all wait at the doctor's office, right? Even those of us who work in healthcare, we get to wait even longer, it seems. It's called irony. But mandatory downtime. And you know what? That's the thing. You can just take it, you can study it. It's got all that really good stuff in there, right? You know, it's stuff that stuff you should know. Okay. And I dig your grid. So you couldn't be more wrong. Oh, for the love of God, no. I've been told by so many Brits that I have the perfect posh imitation. Ditto. So do I.
Now someone's going to correct you.
No, I'm just saying. I don't speak with a received pronunciation, but when I do my Christopher Hitchens impression, they say it's spot on. In other words, I'm not Dick Clark in Mary Poppins. No, right, I don't do that. No, for the love of God, no. Video game brother could be Luigi. Well, I'm not being offensive, I promise. Gosh, I'm just having a good time. Hey, hip-hop duo, how about Outkast? No, it's a hot day here, but it feels quite nice. If it was humid, I'd be miserable, but no, it's not bad. Campus military group could be ROTC, ROTC, so... this looks like you Eradicator, Mouse Eradicator. What do you think that's a cat? What do you think? Let's put that in there. Let's make it fun. Pipes smoked at some lounges. How about hookahs? Hookahs. All right. One-time high-speed flyers for short could be SSTs. To this day, if I could go back in time, the plane tickets back then for the Concorde were like $5,000. I mean, it would have put us so severely in debt, but we should have just spent $10,000, maxed out a card, and just done it once. That's going to be a huge regret for the rest of my life, never having flown the Concorde. I just
When you're on your deathbed, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the thing that you're thinking of.
Wouldn't you just die, though, if I'm on my deathbed? That's exactly what my last words were. Jerry, my love, my one true love.
Maybe
If we could have only flown the Concorde.
maybe Hitch will be waiting there to bring you to the other side.
Hitch will be waiting, huh? Oh, for the love... You can hear him saying, oh, for the love of God, no. Square root of 9. How about tres? Tres. At this point. Maybe here. Ilk could be a sort. Okay, I'm pretty proud of my Eradicator here, the cat, the mouse Eradicator. They barely scratched the surface. I'm assuming ice skates. What a fun grid. I mean, it has just been fun. Kentucky Derby prizes, I mean, roses. But the real prize is getting to walk around drinking mint juleps and your little metal cups and wearing seersucker suits and looking at your wife looking all cute in her chiffon and hats and hats. We got to do that one here. Axe handlers, perhaps. Ooh, roadies. Wow. All right, this is clever. Good stuff. AFL-CIO made an appearance today. Blubbers, maybe sobs, and here it comes. Now we got to find out if we actually fat-fingered something. And I say we, I mean me, because you're not on the hook for that. variety of plant whose name is pronounced differently in the UK than in the US. And of course, we're talking about the hub. And the name on Irish stamps would be air. How do we do, Bob? And I feel like that's by our Cin-Cin, because to be honest with you, I mean, I wasn't paying as good of attention as I could have, but it could be that it's Sunday. And top-ranking royal, Tolkien creatures, 9 times out of 10, pacifist renouncement, from our home near the sun. Very clever stuff. Cast a really long look. And the mouse eradicator. That's pretty good stuff. I gotta say that I was really impressed with a few of these clue answers. The one that I loved probably the most was bald, but we just hit the roadie over here, which I thought was also outstanding. But I'm unable to see where roadie went, but never. Is that the roadies, the axe handlers, right? That was a clever one. There was quite a few though that I thought were just really cool. They were standout type stuff. And when's the last time you saw an obelisk in? I mean, I've seen them, but it's very rare, it seems. And really, as a whole, this was just a beautifully done grid, but it was not in any way whatsoever an easy one. Every single thing seemed like it needed to be vetted somehow before you just threw it in there. Some of that's on me, like not being as familiar with Jennifer Egan's work as I should be, perhaps, or so on and so forth. Maybe being overly familiar with Edgar Allan Poe's work, but not so much up on maybe the band Outkast, though I do love Outkast, so that's really not a fair statement. But nevertheless, what a beautiful grid. One beautiful way to spend a Sunday afternoon. So we'll go ahead and bring down our Ben here, Dad, and just in time to get a refresher on this thing, I guess I'll be editing and getting this up. But if you stuck around this long, I appreciate that very much. And I want to thank everybody too. I see that subscriptions just slowly growing. Feels like we'll be at 6,000 before long, and that's going to be really fun to get there. 6,000, 7,000, whatever. I mean, I honestly never thought we had enough. I just didn't think there were enough people who digged this kind of scene to ever build that kind of audience. And so, and what has been most surprising to me is just how the same types of people seem to be coming in. And they're just also very kind and very, very intelligent and very caring, giving people. And it's just a wonderful feeling. So what a nice thing to be a part of. It makes me very, very proud. So until we see you next time, which will be tomorrow, for both the Guardian Cryptic and the New York Times Monday, which should hopefully be like an easy thing after today. Ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, Servus, Grüß Gott, Ciao, Cin-Cin. Be well out there. Be safe. We'll see you in one piece, tomorrow. Cheers.